So you say you're customer obsessed. What metrics do you use or KPIs to measure the success of your customers?
It's a good question. And we don't really have there's a few we have for that because it's hard to measure that one because we're in an interesting business where people ultimately the best metric is the success of the people in their businesses, but we don't have good visibility of that, you know what I mean? We do have some feedback mechanisms where people report it and tell us, but we ask for testimonials and we do try and understand it. The Facebook group, people ring the bell, and so we can get a sense of how happy and successful people are in that group. And then on a customer support side, we can see how happy people are there. We've got a refund rate thing, we can look at that. And then ultimately though, I think if I had to tell you one thing that I'd look at, I would just go to the Facebook groups that our customers are in, right? And I just search for my name.
Mm-hmm. Like the ClickFunnels group,
yeah.
You search for Sam Robinson.
Do that. Sort by most recent and read it. That's probably the best metric you got.
So you don't use any KPIs. You could actually use the number of tickets a customer writes in his life to you.
True, but ultimately we're looking for people. It takes the hardest thing to get from a customer is for them to actively promote you to other people. That's the highest level, right? Even when they're not even getting compensated for that. So that's how you know when you're doing a good job. If there's none of that, then you've got to fall back on some other things like refund rate, satisfaction rate of support tickets, and just the general kind of sense in the community. Yeah. So that's a hard one to gauge, but what people are saying about, the best thing you can see is if in your community people are saying, what's the best course on this? And if people always say that, and it's you, then you're doing a good job. That's a good sign. But when it comes to the financial stuff, it's a lot easier to measure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That one's a hard one. Even no one can really get that right in this space because, even universities talk about success rate, but it's just the amount of people that pass the exams. That's not necessarily a success. You know what I mean? So you've got to look at how people are measuring it.
Do you look at the engagement the customers have inside the online course, the online portal, how many videos are being watched and for how long?
Yes. That obviously engagement is the first sign, people watching it, people uploading action items, people engaging in the community, these things are good signs, but ultimately this can still be going on and people might not be getting results. At the end of the day, the results speak the loudest about the quality of the course, you know what I mean?
And have you ever thought about an automatic process to get to know about the results of your customers?
Yeah, try thinking about that. It's very hard. Because, if you're asking them, that's even open to people who don't know their numbers, which is everybody, and people who lie. So it's still not really accurate, yeah. But there's some people that you can tell they're definitely they have a successful business because they go on to build a team and you hear stories of them in the market and their customers are yeah.
And when do you know you should ask somebody for a testimonial?
When they've had success and you should ask them right then.
So like after they rang the bell or posted in the group, they made 100K or something like that.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.